Hi Libra, it's Majori here from the Punk Priestess, and welcome to your Tarotscope for May, and I'm excited to get into the reading. So what I'm going to start off with here is a main energy, and then we're going to go into the spread. And I have a mix of Oracle and Tarot decks and astrology, so we're going to be mixing it up and see what messages come through. There we go, there's that bridge. All right. Okay. All right, so let's see what the main energy is, and then what else is going on here. Whoa, big energy. Big energy. Okay, so we have definitely a lot to talk about. Okay, all right. So what I'm pulling here is the Tower upright, and then I'm pulling imagination. So we have some duality coming in. This is interesting. So we have here the Tower, and it's, you know, very threatening, but this is Mars, and Mars is going into your opposite sign of Aries on the 24th of this month. So it really is like whatever is kind of stagnant and stuck is going to be moving quickly by the time it goes into Aries, and it likes to be in Aries, so it can move, it can flourish, because this is Mars ruled, and Mars is the ruling planet of Aries. So it's definitely like, if you've been waiting on information, if you've been waiting on news, if you've been waiting on something to end, or maybe you don't want it to end, but you're like, I have a feeling the end is near, definitely in the next couple weeks you will be seeing that come into the light. But we do have the imagination. So you might be imagining some of these endings or these situations. Maybe you just recently had a Tower experience, or you feel like a Tower experience is intuitively coming. But it's just like, you can be using your imagination at this time as like a what if situation. Like, what if, you know, I got fired from this job? What if this relationship ended? What if, you know, this comes into alignment, or what if this comes out of alignment? It's just really, don't get so caught up in the imagination, because we want to kind of move away from that energy. We want to stay grounded in whatever truth that we have. We want to stay grounded in whatever answers that we have at this time, especially with Mercury being retrograde. It is kind of hard to see the truth of everything, but it's definitely is move towards intuition and away from imagination, because you can imagine things all day. It doesn't mean any of them are in alignment with your intuition. It could just be based off of fear, and that's what this Tower is saying. It's like, move away from the imagination of fear and move towards the imagination of trusting that the things that are leaving your life, the downloads, the things that are being revealed to you, trust that, instead of what your imagination is playing on with fear, because that's going to drive you crazy. That's going to spiral you, and you're going to then have a crazy Tower moment. But you have the opportunity to take control of this and get out of the burning building while you can. If you see that there's an exit strategy, if you see that, you know, things are happening, you have to confront it. You can't be afraid to shy away and just let things happen and just see, oh, maybe the building will collapse with me inside, or maybe, you know, the building won't fall. It's just like, you can't have these maybes. You can't have your imagination deter you away from the reality of a situation, because if you don't see the wake-up call now, it's going to be too late, and you're going to crumble in this disillusionment that you might be having. And it's like, you really have to shake yourself and see the truth in people. It's like, you're pretty good at that usually, but a lot of times you are so worried about trying to keep everything in balance, or have everyone like you, or you know, you put a lot of other people's needs before your own. But it's like, you got to pay attention to what's happening at home, what's happening around you, and how can you take control of your life? How can you take control of your situation? And you might have to get out and leave prematurely before shit hits the fan. But your imagination can also be keeping you in a place of a Tower situation. And it's like, you know, the truth that, you know, maybe the people around you are no good, but your imagination is putting rose-colored glasses on a situation. And you have a tendency to do that. So you have to really think about Are you being a detriment to yourself? Like, do you know the truth, but you're disguising it based off of your imagination of how you want things to be rather than what things seem or how things seem? So we have here the Eight of Cups reversed. We have here the Chariot upright. And then we have Libra reversed. So I'm going to start here with the Eight of Cups, because this is definitely like you're afraid to emotionally move on. Your imagination here is running wild, and that's why this Tower experience is going, if it hasn't happened already, it's going to happen for you this month, because you're kind of doing this to yourself at this point. Like, you know, you need to leave this situation. You know, you need to leave this relationship or this friendship, whatever it is that's emotionally pulling on your heartstrings. Like, you know, you need to emotionally leave it, because the scope of things is that it's going to push you out regardless. And maybe it hasn't happened now, but it will eventually find a way to make things difficult for you, to push you out. And sometimes we need to be pushed out for our own good. But other times, if we don't have a backup plan, we're getting pushed out, and you could break your neck once you get pushed off this tower. You can, you know, go through a lot of hardships. So you have to have a backup plan at this time, because once you emotionally take off those rose-colored glasses and see the truth, you're going to have to move forward from it anyways. And I think you know this. I think you know that the end is near. I think you know that your time is up in this relationship, in this friendship, at this job, whatever it is in your life, in this location. Like, you know your time is up emotionally, but you're still holding on to this moment because your imagination is trying to overcome the reality of the situation. And like, maybe you're scared to move forward. And that's what the Chariot card is showing up as. It's like there's this duality, because there's this comfort that's keeping you complacent and having you stay and thinking things are better than what they are. But it's also, there's this light that is coming through, this aha moments with this Tower saying, you know, trust the Tower, trust that it's okay if you move on, trust that you don't have to wait till you get a notice, you know, in the mail, or you know, you are let go. Like, you don't have to wait. You can get yourself out of these moments on your own accord. You don't have to wait for people to physically and dramatically push you out. So that is what the Chariot is saying. It's like you need to move forward, and it starts intuitively and emotionally, moving away from the falsehoods, moving away from the imagination, moving away from the fantasy and the disillusionment, because you're still stuck in that phase. And you have to see the people around you. The people around you, a lot of them have probably left. A lot of people have probably moved on or moved forward. And like, why are you still in the same place? Why are you still stuck? And that has to do with your value system and your worth. And this is Taurus season still. So as I'm doing this reading, so, you know, you just need to think about your values. You need to think about your health on a physical level. And do you think it's healthy to continue being in this energy? And you might still be stuck on this Pisces stellium that we had a couple weeks ago on the 26th of April. You could still be in this fantasy. And it's like you need to wake yourself up from the dream. Because we have Libra reversed here, we have your sign reversed here, and you have to remember that your sign also rules enemies and people who do not want the best for you. And you have to watch out for these people behind the scenes of your life. And I think your imagination is trying to protect you from the truth of these people. And it's like, what is it going to take for you to snap back into reality? It's going to take this Tower energy. And you have to know that these people are not your friends with this Libra reverse energy. These are not the relationships you want to be aligned with. They're not healthy relationships. They're not healthy people. And it's causing you to not be the best version of yourself. You can tell yourself any story you want to get you through the day. But ultimately, you know the truth of the situation. And the truth is that it's what has happened to other people, and intuitively, you know the energy that's going on is going to affect you, and you're going to get pushed out. So you might as well take off the rose-colored glasses, see the truth for what it is, and find the wisdom within yourself and the light within yourself to move in a new direction, away from this energy. But first emotionally, you have to wake up. You have to wake up, but you're asleep. You're asleep to your intuition right now, because it's scary. It's scary to move out into the unknown, but it's like you would rather have control and see it coming than waiting for the last moment, and you're like, crap. it's too late for me. I'm stuck now, or I really have no other choice but to move forward. Don't let the Tower energy take you by surprise. It's Mars. You have to remember you're on the battlefield, but you have control of how you want to fight and who you want to fight. Choose your own warrior type energy. Okay, so what I have here, I have magic is either everything or it's nothing with the Eight of Cups reversed. I have here the Divine Mother with the Chariot upright. And then I have here Libra and no trips without a tripper. So what we have here with magic is either everything or it's nothing. It really is saying like you are wasting your time and your potential by continuing to have this rose-colored glasses situation. By continuing to stay in this imaginative fantasy frame of mind instead of living in reality. So moments of your life, moments of your magic is just being put on the shelf, and it's like you want to be able to use your talents and gifts and abilities in this life, or it's just a waste and you're just going to die with these talents and abilities, or are you going to have the courage to do something about them and move forward to a place, to a relationship, to a situation, to a job that is better suited for you and that aligns with this magic. And we have the Divine Mother here with the Chariot. So this really is saying that you need to tap into your inner mother energy. Like, how do you need to be mothered at this time? How do you need to take care of yourself at this time? Who can you rely on? Is there a mother figure quite literally in your life that you can rely on? Or maybe it is, if you're a mother, you know, thinking about the journey of motherhood, thinking about how, you know, to raise your children in a different way. But it's also just connecting to your own femininity. And that is what the Chariot is also trying to have you recognize. It's like you need to move intuitively. You need to connect to your intuition. But if you are blocking your intuition of your fanciful imagination, you're not going to be able to really show yourself the respect you need to get yourself in a new situation. And then we have here Libra, no trips without a tripper. And this really is that you need to move away from these people. You need to move away from this circumstance. You need to move away from this energy and not get too invested in it, because if you don't take this opportunity, you're never going to be able to take this opportunity. You're going to keep being stuck in complacency until they eventually find a way to push you out. So it's like, where does your loyalty lie? Does your loyalty lie with your imagination and this perception of how you think these people are? Or does your imagination lie with your divine power, with your divine femininity, with your divine intuition, with yourself, with your value of how you feel about yourself, think about yourself? That is what the journey that you have to take, but you have to show up for this journey. No one's going to, you know, go into your body, astral project into your body and walk around as you for this trip. It's like you have to be the one to walk in your own shoes and to take this voyage into finding out who you are, despite the imagination, despite the people and the circumstances and how they're trying to have you be or conform to be. So lifelong struggle for you, honestly, Libra, because you have such a hard time separating yourself from other people's identity. And you really need to be like, is this me, or am I trying to be a version of someone else? Because they have their self figured out. So I feel like I have to be like them. You have to keep on giving yourself that reality check. Okay, so I'm pulling here some astrology cards, pulling some oracle. Woo, and this one's going to pop out and I'm not even going to fight it. All right, so what I have here is the third house, which rules Gemini. We're in this house right now. And then I have here Sunday for timing. And then have here Earth. So Earth in favorable position. So this definitely is this like earthy Taurus energy with like Venus as like Taurus ruling planet is also your ruling planet. And then you're also vibing with this third house energy of Gemini when Gemini season starts on the 20th, who's your air sister sign. So it is like this give and take. It's like, do you want to stay grounded and rooted Or would you rather, please yourself for other people? Like, you have to figure out, like, would you rather put value and worth into yourself, or would you rather put your energy and emphasis on other people, and that energy can be fleeting? It's not grounded. And we have here Sunday. So this is really saying that you need to think, maybe Sunday is a day where you disconnect and you don't socialize really. You have some time for yourself and think about your actions, your goals, and ideas, and have this be apart from what other people are having you do or how you show up. You just need some time to figure out yourself and your life, because you're so immersed with other people's energy, you don't even recognize your own. And you need to come back down to earth. You need to stop with the imagination and this belief of who you think you are, who you think these people are. And you need to come back down to earth and have this awakening, this reckoning. And this third house energy, it's going to communicate to you through Mercury retrograde of what's not working and what relationships need mending, or what relationships you need to walk away from. And if Mercury retrograde is affecting you, it's like, well, how is this calling you back home to yourself, instead of trying to constantly escape yourself through other people? Okay, so we have here ending card. I have the King of Swords upright, and this is really talking about how you need to be in control of your own dialogue. You need to be in control of your own thoughts. You need to take your perception about other people, or like of yourself, you need to take that away. You have to reclaim that. And the best way to do that is maybe on Sunday. Maybe that's the day where you're like, this is where I get in touch with myself, away from social media, away from what other people are doing, or like work stuff, or friendship stuff, whatever it is. It's just like, you need to have some space for yourself to figure things out, because a Tower moment is coming, if you like it or not. You can't avoid it. When the Tower shows up, especially upright, it's just like it's coming. It's either you've already had it or it's on its way. And you need to have the conversation with yourself of how to save yourself from this burning building. And it starts with thinking about you, not thinking about how would Susie save herself? How would this person do this? It's like, how would you do things your way that benefits you? Because you have to think about your life instead of putting other people first all the time, because that's going to get you killed. So we don't want that. But, you have a lot of work to do this month, and I don't think it's going to be, very gentle on you, but you haven't honestly been gentle with yourself. You've been, willingly distracting yourself and pulling yourself into other people's energy, and it's time to sever this. It's time to take a sword out and cut it. The best way to use air magic is to cut, and you need to cut the bullshit that you're continuing to distract yourself with. Get out of the imagination and accept that this Tower energy is coming for you, but it's how you handle it and it's how you deal with it as you're on the battlefield. It's like, how are you going to survive? And that's up to you. All right, so that is the reading, Libra. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you want a personal reading with me, I am open for May and June. And I also released a bunch of astrology services on my site, so definitely check those out. And I will see you next month. Thank you.